at my in-laws. So the mother asked her, Lydia, of the two, whom do you want to get married to? She said, this boy.
Pointed at you.
The poor man, the poor boy. Everybody laughed at her. They saw a younger girl who is crazy, who is going to suffer, and indeed, by that decision, she was coming to suffer.
You've confirmed it was time to suffer.
Yeah, she was not coming into roses, eating chicken and chicken and chips, as people do today. So that's how the story began.
That was a hard decision to make.
It was. And for us, we did not have courtships like you have today.
Where people will spend a lot of time
with the courtships. And I wonder, after, I want to see, to look at this girl or boy for like 2 years before we get married. But when, even if they get married, again they have problems.
They have issues, yeah.
They have issues. So with this one, for us, we did not have courtships, we did not have romantic words like today, honey, baby. I tell you this today.
I've eaten some food today.
You know, they talk everything. You're my computer.
I know.
So my wife would not hear such vocabulary, vocabulary in her life. So what was next? First, we don't have pre-marriage vis. I hear you, Samuka, and the dance, Dikuchoka,
yes,
and everybody, you know, I'm going for
casual visit. And now we can invite you people. Bishop escort me for a casual visit.
And you wonder. Then I went for introduction. No, it is today is very interesting. People even have introduction meetings, preparations.
True.
And I wouldn't speak this on the radio, but because I'm a bishop, I have to say so.
Please.
I wonder in these meetings if they put high keys, which is okay,
socks,
which is okay. But it pains me if they put knickers, that they buy knickers for your car. A bra for
your wife, yeah.
The wife to be. I think those would be yours.
I know.
No. So we do not have such things. And then, of course, we do not have either introduction meetings, preparation, to prepare. So, as I told you last time, we went to the bicycles to Namwendwa, and that's why one Timba is very happy with him because he comes from Namwendwa, he brags on that, and that for us in Namwendwa we produce beautiful girls. Even this Bishop Mukembo came to Namwendwa. I tell you, so we went in a simple way. And I told the people, don't ask me what I took to the in-laws on my introductions. Don't ask me that question because I don't have the answer. The truth is, if I don't have the answer, then I took nothing. I just presented myself.
And they said, take your person.
And when they tried to simple bread price, they talked about a cow and 2 goats and 2 chickens, and I wanted to raise my hand so that I can bargain. Because where would I have a cow at the time? Goats, 2, and I think the in-laws just wanted me also. They just said, if this boy is serious, let
him try to bring something.
So that was my introduction. Simple as that. Now I wonder today, when I see people going for introduction, many vehicles, and then carrying sofa sets, fridge, and everything. For us, and it's good if you have them. You can give to your in-laws. But I want to tell you, for us who went through that process in a simple way, we have maintained our marriages.
Sure.
We have maintained. And
So
I know
you have grown together.
we have gone together.
From the other serious poverty, now to fight it together, you're fighting against poverty together. And
So from there, we went for marriage, for the wedding. Guess what happened? One, I just, I do not have my own sword, even my shoe, I do not have shoes. In the Nakaba, this Mr. Chibiye, he was a man who were the same size. He had a suit and I had to go and borrow it from him, get it from him. We used the 404 Peugeot Estate, that was the bridal car. At the reception, on the 21 cups of mugs, this Tampeco, the plastic ones, and many people came and they do not take a tea. Only 21 people taking tea. Others were just happy, making urinations, and just only swallowing saliva, without anything. On 4 kilograms of meat, I served 4 kilograms of meat, not 40 kilograms. I'm talking about
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3. Now, I served that, and I had no cake. I had no matron. I had no best man. I was very poor. Nobody would associate with me to accept to be best man. No, my wife to get a matron. We were just two Magore, without anybody. Just people came and signed for us the marriage certificate at the altar. And then from that simple wedding, we began the wedding. I remember I had a small house of only 10 iron sheets, 5 in front and 5 behind. And before the day of marriage, Friday, I was getting mud, putting their mud so that we can have a shelter. And for us, we don't have honeymoon. These are new things, new developments. From church
to go somewhere, maybe in a hotel to spend some time.
You go to your small house and you begin life. But what is interesting, what I told my wife to be at our first meeting, it was real when she became married to me. Nothing. No salt. No. Nothing. I don't know how I can explain this. No soap, no what.
It was the true definition.
Yes.
Of you.
And when we had just stayed for something like 3 months, her friend came and visited her. Already I was a church teacher, I had gone for ministry. And this guy advised her that this is not a marriage, let us go. By the time this man comes back, you'll find nobody here. And my wife was very wise. She told her, you have come to see me. You go, I will follow you. And when she went back, she told my in-laws that Lydia is coming very soon. That is where she is. She's not married. She's not married at all. So they were waiting for her. 1 week, 3, 5 weeks, a month, 5 months. And the mother was wondering. They told me she's coming back. But lastly, she told me that I could not follow my friend to go back home to my parents because of what I was going through. It's the ways you told me the truth. Now, I want to tell you, younger men, don't deceive a girl you wish to marry. Be open. If you have the money, tell her I have the money. If you don't.
Don't pretend.
Don't pretend. Be real. And if I had pretended, perhaps Lydia would have divorced for me to go and get a better man, to go back to the other man who was rich. But she stood strong because I did not deceive her. Younger men, I hear young men, they hire vehicles.
Yes, to take those girls out.
Yeah, and say, this is my vehicle. And yet it's a hired vehicle. And when they go to a hotel, they hire a room in a hotel, and the guy is coming from village. He says, oh, this is my home. This is my home. And the poor girl thinks this man is rich.
He starts making calls to everyone in the family.
And this selfie, the girl takes the selfie, not knowing that she's in a hotel. She thinks
They are home.
They are home.
Wow.
So, younger men and everybody intending to get married, be yourself. If the girl wants to stay with you,
She'll stay.
even if you are poor, the girl will remain. Forget about today. I hear and I see some jumpy girls. They jump like this popcorn.
Yes. From here, the other side, running.
Popcorns.
Oh my
From
God.
here, from Robers to Kukare, from Kukare to Spire Road, from Spire Road to
Same town.
same town. The first you can go is Bugembe.
So interesting.
So let us be sincere.
Yes.
That's why we are talking about the 10 factors to consider in choosing a marriage.
In fact, very important. That's what I wanted to hear from you.
Yeah.
What should be those factors?
Yes. One, you must look at yourself. Now today, Uganda is full of the gospel. Whoever, everybody, if you are a Christian, you will just hear, praise the Lord. Everybody is like born again.
True.
Everybody is like born again. So now we are talking about the fear of God. It's very important when you are getting, you want to get a partner. And the Proverbs chapter 9, because I'm a bishop, I have, the Bible is our authority.
Absolutely.
Proverbs chapter 9 verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. So when you have the fear of God, one, you fear your God. Two, you're not fearing your partner, but we are fear in quotes.
Yes.
Not this fear that you are like a lion. We are talking about the fear of the Lord. So you fear your partner, and also the girl fears you, giving you respect.
Yes.
So many persons find this very factor immaterial. They don't fear God. They, in fact, they just say they don't know that's the real life core of all the factors which you can use to get a partner.
Okay.
So fear of the Lord is very important. And why I am still with my wife is the fear of the Lord. Fear of and why my wife is still with me, fear of the Lord. We don't want to shame our God. And now as I speak to you, Morgan, if you saw me in 1982, if I brought some photos, you can't believe I'm the one.
Someone was telling me that sometimes poverty can make us look funny.
In fact, those who follow my Facebook, I've tried to put some old photos there. And one day I asked somebody, who is this one? He said, this is what I don't know. And equally, my wife Lydia, you see, we got married when we were very young. Lydia was just 18. I think I was above the law at the time. And I was not more than 22 years. You can see how young we were at that time. So fear of the Lord is a key. As I'm speaking as a religious person, as a pastor, as a bishop, as a counselor, is very, very
number one on the list, fear of the Lord.
Fear of the Lord. When we come, we shall explain more, because people should understand what marriage is. The number two is the sincerity. What assisted me, perhaps my wife would have ran out from me, but I was sincere to her. I told her what I am. when Sir Morgan,
Yes, Bishop.
we do not have Bizigo, what do you call, Vaseline.
Vaseline, lotions.
No, my neighbor, my wife will go to a neighbor and then get, when, you know, they used to buy a cooking oil in bottles, and then the neighbor would use the whole cooking oil in a bottle and throw it away. But my wife had to go and pick that bottle and try to get the remaining cooking oil to smear herself as Vaseline. And then from Vaseline, I went to a Vaseline called Kasowera. and when you hear Kasowera, I don't know, whenever you would smear yourself with that Vaseline, the flies will follow you. That's why.
Kasowera product. Yeah.
So my wife would smear herself with this Vaseline called Kasowera. And imagine, what about the gomas? There was a type of gomas at that time. It was called machari. Whenever you wash it, it becomes small. So at one time she was putting on mutema, which is mutema.
Not fitting.
Not fitting. In fact, perhaps today they would call it fitting. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Today it will be fitting.
So sincerity is very important. Joshua chapter 24 verse 14. The Bible is very clear. Joshua chapter 24 verse 14. Now therefore fear the Lord, serve him in sincerity and in truth. And put away the God, of course, I'm just looking at the words.
Yes.
Serve him in sincerity. Connecting it with being sincere. If you can serve your God with a sincere heart, that can come back down to our marriages. A husband, be sincere to your wife. And a wife, be sincere to your husband. Today, it is a different case. People go in for marriages, wonderful marriages, wonderful weddings. Like the other day, I think it is here. Oh, we talked it last time. We have so many weddings, but few marriages.
True.
You see people being driven Romzin. And the whole city of JINJA. Who are these people in Romzin? The vehicle doesn't, when it is coming, it's like a train.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like a train. And if that's the case, they drive themselves in this open vehicle, the small Mercedes Benz. And when I'm doing pre-marriage counseling, this question I normally put it across. Why do you invest in something you are not going to get profit?
Oh.
Why do you invest in something you are not going to get profit? Look at the wedding range is 70 million gold. Oh my God. And they buy them from Britain, from Dubai, from Canada. You know, my wedding gown is coming from Washington, DC.
Yeah.
And then you look at one thing I did not tell you, like the wedding gown of my wife